Hi, my audience. I'm so excited and thrilled to announce our Domminnus Nissi going global. Yes, we are going to bring all the global impacting people, like whoever impacting globally in different areas that can be in family violence, in heritage, in music, in art, wherever you can find out who are the people going globally. So I got a beautiful woman with me and my wonderful friend. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Michelle, I know that you are influencing people around you here in Melbourne, but you are taking your next step in your life as a very big step in your life to motivate and influence in a global level. So, first of all, will you please introduce you, who you are, and what is that your global motivation, and what are you doing in a global, level?
Thank you so much, Disney. Great question. I'd love to answer. In a nutshell, a victim of violent, abusive marriage and survived with my beautiful daughters. And we continued to forge ahead, not letting that stop our going forward. In amongst that, I realized there were a lot of women that weren't able to get back up and needed help. So we provided for that on the way. My daughters and I, when we'd see people that needed that assistance, we'd reach out. Moving forward now, the girls have left home and they're all doing their own careers. And I thought, well, I need to take this out further because the situation is worse. During COVID, I hatched a plan to bring the knowledge now as a grandmother globally. And so I reached out, be careful what you wish for, Disney. It came at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. I was resting and I was woken up, prompted to open my YouTube page. And there was a woman sharing about Global Grandmothers Council Network. The woman, Suzanne Lewis, is an elder American Indian who's been carrying the torch and has history, steeped in history, on women's ritual, women's healing. But it's not just there. I've reached out to my Tongan ancestry and my Irish culture as well. Very graced to be able to find those resources. In doing that and being connected with the Australian Multicultural Women's Association, I was able to now connect, as I said, to the Global Grandmothers Network. And that's just been growing exponentially since. So we reach out and react and respond to every single woman who reaches out to us. We're on Facebook. And we are going to apply ourselves and focus on everything that concerns us, nature, nurturing the environment, healing the children, and moving forward 7 generations, changing up what hasn't worked. Society can no longer say it's helping. It's destroying. It's destroying completely every day. We need to pick that up, and we are. And so anyone that's seeing this, if they're interested, please reach out to us. And let's continue the effort, linking arms, hearts, and spirits across the beautiful planet, which is ours to own.
So I just want to let you know, my audience, if you don't know, Michelle, she was having a short video with us during Mothers in May series. She's the co-founder of Australian Multicultural Women's Association. And then she was influencing the whole area, including like Altona, Focus, Worthy, Wyndham, that whole area. And then grabbing all the Australian women who linked with culture and who wants healing from that culture. And that's what the real growth of Australian Multicultural Women's Association. And then we know that many good things are happening. We are having the health related topics, coffee catch-up and healing, and then all those stories shared. And I'm in a beautiful place today, and we can see all the artwork here. So we are in this community center where I will ask Michelle what is happening in this place and see how she is connecting people through art as well. So Michelle, that's my next question. You are a great, I would say, motivator for all women, and then helping them to find out their own area. Sometimes earthing can be done through art. You usually do something with play, something with colors, something to breath work, and then you have done something related to music. So can you share about a little bit about this wonderful place?
Yeah, I think we need to remember too, the diversity in each and every one of us is so different. And we all have gifts we've probably yet to discover. I'm still growing. We are always growing. But here we're situated and sitting in the beautiful Louis Joel Arts Community Centre in Alto, where I was embraced with my nebulous plans at that time on wanting to reach community. I've been supported here, and more recently, as Bisney was alluding to, we had a beautiful event for the Mother's Day weekend where we invited the Yangtze River Choir to perform a beautiful ritual homage to the mother and the 5 elements, which was absolutely out of this world. We hope we can post that later at some time. I think Bisney's got some footage of it. But yes, there's writing, film, there's art, painting, clay. But more importantly, we need to go in and find time and give ourselves the grace to revisit what we need, what we want, and what will help us on our path. And if we start from there, the ripple effects outward are incredible. I've seen it, it's tangible. And as soon as that's done and the repair has taken place, everyone reaches out and wants the same thing for the community. And it's a global wave.
So, Michele, you know that my show on 88.9 FM, the core theme is to spread love, joy, and peace. And I'm always that family violence barrier, an advocate for awareness, because that's what we can do to reduce that violence. And then you know that it's not just June 2024, but we have 41 women lost their lives only because of this reason. And we need to give that awareness. It's a need for the nation. So, and that's where you coming up and giving awareness to that, emerged or that, senior level of people. So what's your core thoughts on that?
Well, my core thoughts are that if we look back on history, we see that there have been so many wars. I mean, we could go back all the way to the Crusades and before, but we'll leave the 12 and 1400s and move right forward. 1890s, and then the Crimea, World War One, World War Two. What was that? What infrastructure was there for those young men that were drenched from their homes and what fed into this machine of imperialism? And what was the result? They would have a drink, alcohol, come home, eat the food that the wife had prepared for them. They were happy to eat. She was happy. They were cooking for them, and he ate the food. And then, they'd probably, relax and make more babies. But what was the education in that? What did we learn? Nothing. And we just continued. So there was no healing for the men. There was no education for the women. And this has continued for men, but women are finding their voices. Now, we must remember that we are finding our place as humans. The women are moving forward, but we must embrace a wonderful men, and they would give their lives to keep the home safe. They would give their lives to provide shelter. This masculinity, this masculine gene, the muscle that men are to protect and shield women is a crucial factor in moving forward. I'm a great advocate for that. I don't believe in complete and utter alienation between the genders. No, we're about forging and merging and retaining the beautiful gorgeousness that a couple will bring one to each other.
I love that forging energy, like an merging them together. It's like two different energy coming together to get that fullness of that humanity. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I love the way that you're putting that, because when we go more and more about protecting women, we feel like, women is the only area that you can put up all the energies in. And again, if you think about family violence, it's not just on women. It is happening equally on the other side as well. And then when we talk about this intersectionality here, and there is no gender-based violence, it's more of like anyone in any gender, they are victims or perpetrators of this great, I would say, I can't really use the word great, but this big disease in the whole world. So Michelle, I just want to come back to your the real global initiative of all grandmothers. And I know that grandmothers also, if you put grandmothers, they got double experience of becoming mother. That's the way that I pick it up, because they have their own motherhood, which may know or may not know how to deal with it. But when they become grandmother, they already learned all the lessons. They may have made all the mistakes, but they learned from them, and they putting up a different face to that. So how do you feel about empowering grandmothers in this era?
Thank you. Very beautiful question. I really appreciate it. It's a privilege to answer it. It's a privilege to be in the position of being a grandmother. I just also here want to emphasize that there are grandmothers with fur babies with great compassion to reach into and save and help the animal community internationally, globally, locally, and also environment, trees, gardens, and so on. So we can bring that knowledge of the crone. We are crones. We are the elders, and we hold that space regardless. So yes, in my case, I'm fascinated and wanting to forge ahead in all aspects of that. But regarding people, yes, of course, we have that experience of having 2 generations now in our and under our protection or under our eye. And I myself am a grandmother of 3, a little girl, a young girl, and 2 boys. And it's a wonderful joy. And but not everyone is in that position. So I'm imploring to people, women, grandmothers of this age, to reach out to whatever that looks like. But of course, you're going to have learned knowledge along the way. If you're blessed enough to arrive at this time, then share it, because what else is there? There's, little else to do. When I look at other people, it's an inspiration for me to ignite them with passion and see them lose 20 years of their lives. By way of finding more energy and getting on with it and gaining 20 years of their life.
Yes, whatever they lost, they are bringing them.
Absolutely. I myself, if I may say, I'm not, I'm 70, so it's a privilege, and I have found this energy.
So that what you're doing in 70s, I think, you're an energy for all people, even the younger people, because whatever you are doing at this age, we can't, like youngsters can't even think about it, because you're reaching out the whole world, finding out your own heritage, finding out your roots, and then reconciling with that one, and connecting with all the people in your family, and then reconnecting to the same thing, because that's what the reconciliation mindset that Australia has.
Yes.
And then you are roaming around the world and then doing something similar for the mother nature, for the whole universe. And then you are talking about the language of kindness, compassion, and then more of finding about healing within you.
Yes, it's the love. It's the love that heals. That's the key. Aligning your chakras, aligning your health, aligning your mindset, your consciousness. Focusing on the moment now. But I did have the privilege, Bisley, as you mentioned, the Australian situation, and I worked for 30 years in Aboriginal art and community, learning the language of the maps, how they were cited. Grandmothers inherited stories in a map, so that the children, when they were in that part of the world, would recognize the waterfall or the sand hills and know that there was a water, across that stretch of land. And it was a map they learned by song. And these songs were taught. And this is the songwriters of this beautiful country. So, yes, there's a lot to learn from all of the grandmothers.
Yeah. I personally believe that, when you go deep and core into Australian heritage of that First Nations core values, you will be identifying the real core within you, because that's a big way of identifying your power. But I feel like people are missing that element, and they're just putting that acknowledgement in all different areas we start. But I highly doubt, are we really connecting to them? Are we really sharing that love to our ancestors, like, people here? Because you mentioned that, their grandmothers or connecting to their children wherever they are. Same way, because we are in their country, we are part of their family. So we should be getting that connection with them. So what's your thoughts on that? How do we really connect with our Australian First Nation family and friends?
I think you've hit it on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. It is about learning about their culture. It is about paying homage and listening to their stories. It is about understanding that this country was never ceded. It was pulled out from under them, just as all the African countries were, just as India as was, and remembering. And for some reason, some countries were more fortunate than others in retaining their knowledge. We lost so much, so many people in so many countries. But fortunately for us, it was this thin thread of the storylines that the women held on to and shared and nurtured and continued to, it continued on down the line to here. If we don't move forward, my fear is if we don't seize this moment, it is now that we need to do this.
So Michele, I just want to check with you. What is your message to the global audience who are listening through Domminnus Nissi and thinking about reconciliation, generational trauma, healing, and then connecting through love, joy, and peace?
Make space for that. Find time to sit back and think about what is it that stirs you. Find the fire within you, ignite that fire, whatever fuels that, whether, as we said, it's clay, it's painting, it's history, it's gardening, nurturing animals, or doing something in community. Just find that initially, and you'll be guided. Your spirit will guide you. And I believe it's a sanctuary within us. We have the God light within us, and we just have to tap into it.
Thank you. That's great. And I know that that's where you are. You are going in that global path and then inspiring many people. And then we will be hearing from you again after, all these milestones that you're putting up for the global audience. So thank you, Michele, for your wonderful insight and then sharing your great journey from Australian network to a global network. So thank you so much. And I totally believe when the time comes, when you connect to your core, the connections begin, the change begins. And that's the true belief that I'm experiencing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gizmi. Remember, there are no limits, there are no boundaries, there are no borders. They were man-made. Let's just feel it, feel our way forward.
Thank you. So my listeners, what you heard is that healing yourself from within and then connecting to your core and changing what's the spirit in you, and it's coming as positive spirit. So I really want to emphasize the core message that Domminnus Nissi is spreading across the globe is nothing other than Claire's globe, spreading love, joy, and peace. When you start from your heart, you're putting that to the people around you. And that's where we started to respect, give the compassion and kindness to the other people. And that's the core to avoid the violence in a family, in a community, and in a nation and worldwide. So we are uniting together globally to reduce, eliminate the violent mindset, the violence in whole world. So this is Domminnus Nissi Global, sharing wonderful people, spreading love, joy, and peace in their life and the world around us. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Michele. Thank you.